Hey there, Game Masters. Lark here, and I wanted to do a quick video regarding enemies having feats. Now, as I'm looking through the book and I'm planning some of my next sessions, I'm noticing all the feats that are available to the players, and I started thinking, wow, this would be great if guards had this. This would be great if bounty hunters had this. And as I'm looking through, I'm thinking, why don't those characters, those creatures, those enemies have those feats? It just makes sense. So what I've been thinking about doing, and what I recommend trying in your games, is giving some feats that make the most sense for the characters or the enemies, your characters, the NPCs of the world. For example, if you have guards that guard a town, a city, a castle, and they just use spears, that's it. All spears, all day. They should have Polearm Master. If somebody runs at them, they should be able to use the reaction to try and stab. That's their whole job. You not getting in here is my whole deal. And if that's the case, they should have some abilities that'll let them do that. Now, you don't have to bind yourself to the in-canon feats in the game. You can give them abilities that make sense as long as you do it ahead of time. But these are so great, and they're all here to use. Polearm Master is a great idea for any sort of guard as the party charges the wall, or they send some poor NPC that's been charmed to charge the wall. One reaction, they get to stab before the party member or the charmed person gets a chance to attack back. Also, I was looking at Sentinel. That would be such a great ability for a bounty hunter who has been put in charge of capturing the party's rogue, who likely committed some crime in their backstory or their recent past. Sentinel is genius. It stops them from being able to use a disengage to stop opportunity attacks. So if he's trying to get a hold of them and they try to run, he gets an opportunity attack even if they disengage as a bonus action and drops their speed to 0. If you've got a bounty hunter after your rogue, you should be using Sentinel. In fact, if you wanted, you could probably build NPCs just off of each of these feats. Like, how cool would that be? Like, this feat is this guy, this feat is this guy. And then if you have an idea for a character or a bad guy that has some ability, think of a feat that fits within these and let them use that. Especially the racial feats. I think that's a great way to make a dragonborn bounty hunter way more interesting, is give him, what do we got? Dragon Hide, Dragon Fear. These are abilities that he should have because it's in his nature. It's innate with him. Give all of your tieflings, what do they have? Hellish Rebuke. Every tiefling has that. Why not? I don't know if that's a feat or if that's just what they get, but Infernal Constitution, that's for tieflings. Give them all that. Flames of Phlegethos, if you play 5e canon. I mean, these are all options that are simple enough to give to a character to make them memorable, to make them interesting, to make them do something the party doesn't always expect. And anytime we can break expectations, now we're in the realm of great storytelling. We break an expectation, and then we let the party figure out how to overcome that broken expectation. How do they deal with a charger who just constantly chases after them as they try to escape and is attacking right afterwards? How do they deal with an actor, someone they know is lying, but they can't prove it because their story, their delivery is so perfect that everyone around them believes the actor? How do they deal with a defensive duelist? I mean, that's a great thing right there, just having a duel. What an awesome, epic fantasy moment to have that classic duel against somebody who actually is a defensive duelist. Maybe somebody in the party knows has the alert feat, so they're not going to be able to sneak into their room. You know, that gives them new things they have to try to figure out, rather than, oh, we're going to sneak into the room and kill the king while he sleeps. Well, the king was an adventurer, and maybe the party knows he was the party's watcher every night. So he's got the alert feat. These are things that we can do to build more interesting NPCs and make more memorable knights, more memorable characters. Orcish Fury for half-orcs, that's genius. Second chance for halflings. Imagine trying to hit a halfling who's lucky and has second chance, and they're just untouchable. Bountiful luck. And making the rest of the party lucky. Some little halfling bard could change the whole fight just because that group recruited him and he's giving luck. Maybe even they kidnapped him and his luck is innate. Maybe it's not even his choice. They keep him in a cage like a lucky cricket, and the party has to now figure out, how do we fight these guys when they got this halfling that's making them dodge everything. We can't hit him. We can't get an at 20. All fantastic ways to build up your world and build up your fantasy races. They don't just have to be a height and an ear length. They can be something way more interesting. Why are humans interesting? Because they don't have any of these special abilities. They've got to think their way out of everything. And these feats can be a great way to make that something really unique. Why are these fantasy races interesting? Because gnomes can just disappear. That's interesting. Elven accuracy, they just hit all the time. That's part of the fantasy anyway, isn't it? We have these ideas of what these creatures are like, and 5e doesn't really build into those ideas until you start to add the feats. It touches on them, but it doesn't take them to any extreme. And I think going to the extremes with all these abilities is fine. Have at it. Go wild with it. Let your party have some extra feats. Let your NPCs have some extra feats. Let's ramp up everything. If you find out the party's doing too much damage with some extra feats, increase the hit points. In all of my videos on creating great boss monsters, I max out their hit points. So I'm not worried about them getting some extra reaction hits in. If you feel like your enemies are a little too powerful, then have them run away when they're hurt. They don't have to always fight to the death. As soon as the bad guy is bloodied, he bails and we start a chase scene. How many action movies have you seen where there's a chase scene? Where something awesome happens, something gets blown up, somebody's doing some parkour. Another opportunity where all these feats can be interesting. Maybe this guy is a runner, like he can jump from rooftop to rooftop. There's got to be a feat on that, right? Maybe skilled, maybe even, I don't know, what else is in here? What else we got? Mobile feat, that's perfect. He's fast. He's super fast. We can't catch up to him. We got to use some sort of a trap, or we got to use some way to shoot him or hit him. We got to use a weapon. Maybe he's a shield master and he can keep backing you up. Oh, that's a great idea. What if we've got a shield master with polearm master? So they got a polearm and they pop you back 5 feet, and then you have to walk back into the range. Boom, and they can stab you again. Maybe we give them a spear instead of one of the typical ones, or a quarterstaff. That'll work. So now as they walk in, wow, reaction, you get to hit them. Then on your turn, you get to stab them. Bonus action, pop them back again. So they got to walk back in again. This is a great way to create a wall of warriors. Again, just using feats can change the whole game. It can change the feel of everything. And building characters around the feats can be just as fun and great inspiration for making really unique and interesting enemies, NPCs, allies, people that you want on your team, and people that you do not want on your team. Anyway, I've been spending a lot of time in ICRPG. If you haven't heard of it, you gotta look into it. It's fantastic, and what really, really builds in the game master is the ability to stop focusing so much on the rules and start thinking, how would this work? And when you start thinking that way, you get more creative. And when you're creative, your party has a better time. If you're interested in more tips like this, I do appreciate it. Subscribe, or even a comment below on things that you're thinking about, things that you want to look into, and I can give you my opinions on that. But either way, I will play you later.